Okay, so in this video I'm going to show you how you are going to get an entirely different beach experience over here on the Playa de Palma, and that's going to be very much a different experience to one that you may well have read about over in El Arenal, and in particular in regards to the big party zone over there. Now, the beach over here on the Playa de Palma is around 5 kilometres long. It's a huge stretch of sand which you can see behind me, but it's not all the same because I'm over here in Can Pastilla, not just to give you an update from the area, but just to talk to you why this area of the Playa de Palma is so different. So I'm just looking behind me here at the very beautiful and very lovely Playa de Palma this morning, and we're going to walk in the direction of Can Pastilla, but looking left, and you may well have seen some content on my channel. If you haven't, check out the links below and pinned at the end of this video about what some of El Arenal is actually like and how it has been getting some very bad press recently, maybe deservedly so. Who knows? But a little bit further along the beach, if you're coming over here to stay on holiday, well, you're going to get a completely different experience. So Can Pastilla is this area right at the far end of the beach. It's on the west side of Palma here, and it's a very different resort. Now, contrary to what you may well have read in the press about El Arenal and Playa de Palma being very busy and being the centre of drunken tourism over here in Mallorca, if you're coming over here on holiday, you're probably going to find some great holiday deals over here in Can Pastilla. You're probably going to get some great flight deals over here too, and don't forget too that the airport is literally just behind the resort here. You're 5 minutes by bus or by taxi from the airport, so it's incredibly easy to get to, and it's also an area that you shouldn't bypass if you're thinking of coming here on holiday. Now, Can Pastilla is very popular with families. It is peak season, and we're going to get an idea of just how busy it is this summer. And you may remember as well, I've filmed here over the winter. You've seen the huge empty swathes of beaches as we've come into the spring too. And as I'm looking over here in peak season, particularly at the area where we don't have any sunbeds or beach umbrella rentals, you can see we've got this lovely empty space. We're kind of moving into mid-morning here, but you can see how many people are down by the water. So I'm not denying that we don't have saturation on beaches over here on the island, particularly on the really small calas or coves, because they're always going to be busy during peak season. They're going to be busy at whatever time of year you visit too. But these bigger resorts, and I'm proving it here in yet another video as well, right in the middle of August, I'm filming this, and you can see just how empty the beaches are over here. And I don't think it's because people are cancelling because of the anti-tourism saturation protests. I don't think that's the case. I just think that it would be almost impossible to fill these beaches to breaking point with the amount of holidaymakers that we have coming over here every year. Now, as we go along the beach, you're going to find certain areas to be busier than others, particularly areas that are located right near to hotels as well, or where the beach might get a little bit thinner. But I'm on a particularly wide part here, so you can see just how wide and open it is. So as we come down further in towards Can Pastilla, you can see we're coming up to one of the far beach bars, the last beach bar over here on the Playa de Palma. You can also see as well that we don't have the lines of people sitting on the walls drinking that you may find down, well, you do find down in Arenal. It's a much different vibe over here. You can hear less loud music pumping out of the bars. You know you're going to get a much quieter beach experience too. I just have to make the point as well, I don't see any security boxes on the beach umbrellas in front of me. I guess they're not going to be getting them this summer. Watch your stuff on the beaches, everybody. But look, coming up to this beach bar here, we've got a little bit of music playing out. It's not as loud as you're going to find further down the resort, but it's here if you want it. So I'm guessing later on during the day it's going to get a little bit livelier down here. In fact, I'm sure it'll get a little bit livelier down here, but not to the extent you're going to find over in the Playa de Palma. Now, in front of this beach bar here, we do have the luxury Sunbed offering too, as you can see in front of me. And just to give you an idea of prices, I have shown it in one of my previous videos, but if you haven't seen it, let's just quickly go and check them out. Sunbed rentals, the VIP sunbed rentals are €18 for the day, and that's for one umbrella or one sun lounger. So as we come past the luxury sunbed rentals onto the far side of Campasta Beach, and oh my goodness, this is looking very empty in August, I have to say. I really do. I seem to remember in years gone by when I first moved to the island, this area of the beach used to be absolutely packed, and it's a shame I don't actually have any video footage of that, because of course it was before when I started my channel, but you can just see how actually lovely it is. So once again, you're going to be reading all about tourism saturation and saturation on the beaches, but I really would say that saturation is just about saturation on the coves. It's not about these big beaches. I can see a few sunbed rentals right down the end. I can see some more as well right next to the Club de Mar by the little the sailing club as well. But you've got a whole lot of sand here. You're not going to be fighting for space on the sand over here in Campasta, or should I say the Playa de Palma. But one thing's for sure, you're certainly not going to find the drunken tourism that you find over in Arenal over here. We don't see the hordes of young people in the bars drinking or on the streets. You don't see as many street sellers down here either. You certainly don't see any police. I haven't seen any police yet this morning. Didn't see any down in Arenal either, coming to think of it, but you don't have the same feeling over this side of the resort that you do get over in Arenal. So my question is with regards to the anti-tourism saturation protest that we've had here on the island, and indeed the protest that took place over in El Arenal by the Mallorca Plateau, is this the kind of tourism model that we see over here in Campasta? Is this something that is wanted over in El Arenal? I don't know. What do you think? I mean, it does seem very, very quiet here. It does seem quite tranquil. It does seem very, very nice. But as I walk along here, is this something that the island wants? Do we want El Arenal to look just like this? It would mean a lot less money for the economy. It would also mean a lot less street sellers too. It would mean emptier businesses, emptier bars. Is this something that people want? Let me know. Let me know in comments below if you want to see Arenal looking a lot more like Can Pastilla. So I'm just coming up by the El Cid Hotel, and this is the location of the El Nino Sports Centre, where you can rent windsurfing equipment and kite surfing. But over here in August, well, you're not going to find very much wind down here, unfortunately. So if you are coming over here to windsurf and to kite surf, then it may leave you a little disappointed. The sea's very, very calm today. Will the wind pick up later on in the day? I'm not so sure, not at this time of year maybe. If you are planning a windsurfing holiday, you might want to leave it until a little bit later on in the season. There's a little bit of wind blowing across the water. Maybe we're going to see windsurfers out later on today, who knows. But there are plenty of communities, windsurf communities, that you can get advice from if you're coming over. Now we're just coming alongside the far side of Campasta Beach. Once again, it's looking pretty empty down here, but you may remember in my last update video, I showed a huge pile of seaweed right at the end of the beach. Is it still there? Quite possibly. Because in front of me, I can see piles of sunbeds here, which have not been rented. It is peak season. I think they've overdone the sunbeds over here on Campasta Beach. Let's go and check it out. So as we come along this section of the beach here, this is something I never thought I'd expect to see in August. Goodness me, look at all these empty sunbeds, just piles of them all stacked up here on the far end of Campasta Beach, well, on the Playa de Palma. Never thought I'd see that. But look, I can still see there's a small seaweed mountain on the end of the beach. There's a tractor down there as well. They're still in the process of clearing it away, just in time for autumn. Let's take a look. And we've just come up to the huge pile of seaweed, which I can see is still in the process of being cleared. Now this is winter seaweed, so by the time they finish clearing this, I think autumn will be upon us and the seaweed will start again. But I'll tell you where people are hanging out over here in Can Pastilla, and that's just around the corner. So if you are wanting a bit more of a busier beach experience, well, let's have a look around the corner. And we've just got the little land train here passing by. Got quite a few people on it. As you may know, this goes through the resort. Don't forget, I've made a video all about the top 10 things to do over here on the Playa de Palma. Oh, well, over here in Campasta. If you want to know what those are, check out the link in the description text below, so you can get an idea. But anyway, look, we've come to the slightly busier area of Campasta. You can see we've got lots of people on the beach, lots of sunbed rentals. And the reason for that is because they still haven't cleared the seaweed from the shoreline right behind me. Now I'm filming this right into the sun here, as you can see, but you can see they've actually made a start on trying to clear some of the seaweed going into the water, which kind of explains why this end of Playa de Palma is so empty, and explains why everyone's now down on this side for this lesser seaweedy experience. Okay, so it's so hot today, I literally can't walk any further around Campasta. I'm going to have to put a stop here because of course I've got to walk back to the car as well, and that's about a kilometre away at the moment too. I hope this video proved useful. I've got lots more content from over in Campasta. I'll drop a couple of links here and here as well if you want to see what this side of the resort looks like, and also then compare that to what Arenal is like too. But you can see this is a fantastic place for a summer holiday. This summer for 2024 you're going to get a much quieter beach experience too. Okay everyone, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget you can find me in the Facebook group and on my Instagram, also called Mallorca Under the Sun, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Goodbye for now.